All right. This was just a really good series all the way around. But ultimately, Texas hands Oklahoma their first conference series loss since when was it? I mean, it's been 50, I think 4 straight series or something like that. Some stupid amount of number. You go into Austin and Oklahoma gets the series opener against Texas, but then goes and drops 2 straight. And for a lot of Oklahoma Sooner softball fans, this is uncharacteristic. This is not what you expected, especially knowing coming in, like you had Mike White's number, the University of Texas. And listen, the commentators on ESPN mentioned it last year when they played Oklahoma, they looked nervous. They looked rattled. But this year, they look composed. And some of the problems that Texas had going into the weekend with their defense and things like that, ultimately, they cleaned it up and they played a perfect weekend, while Oklahoma did not. Oklahoma struggled to get the bats hot, get into a rhythm, and you kind of saw it multiple times. Guys, I want to talk about it today because this feels very uncharacteristic. This feels weird to be talking about Oklahoma and softball losing 2 straight games. But here we are. Texas, I'm not going to say they rolled Oklahoma, but it felt like the previous 2 games, Texas pretty well dominated Oklahoma. Like they did what they wanted to. When Oklahoma got a run, Texas would answer, and then the defense for Texas was just clutch. And like I said, outside of the first game where Oklahoma took the series lead, the second game, there was some controversy towards the end because at the end of the game, you have what some people, including myself, would have said, yeah, that's obstruction. But the rule says it's not obstruction. And I want to say this. The defense had 2 opportunities to prevent the base runner from going to home. And all you did was give the defense a 3rd opportunity and not really give an opportunity to the offense. Yes, Maya Blend could have stopped at 3rd and we wouldn't be having this conversation. But at the end of the day, she was running towards home and she didn't have a chance to get to the base. And I get the rule. I understand it. Y'all don't have to get down in the comments and explain it to me like I'm 3. But at the end of the day, you had a chance to catch the ball in the outfield, and you didn't. You had a chance to try to get the strikeout, and you didn't. You had to be given a 3rd opportunity to where it really wasn't fair, in my opinion, for the runner for you to be able to get the out and end the game. And rightfully so, Patty challenges that play. Why would you not at that point? You challenge it, maybe by sheer dumb Sooner magic luck, give yourself the chance to overturn it. Maybe. But throughout that game, and then what we saw on Sunday afternoon, Oklahoma just had a hard time getting the bats going, right? They had a hard time finding their pitch, finding the pitches that they normally chase. Now, at the end of the day, and I heard a couple people say this, including Andrew Smith. We were talking back and forth about it. He's like, hey, like at the end of the day, they have to see us in Oklahoma City. Like if they want to win a national championship, there's a very good chance they're going to have to beat Oklahoma to get there once again. And Oklahoma maybe is just a different team in the World Series. But something that I've noticed this year, it really feels like and I don't know if you guys agree with this, so if you agree with it, jump in the comments and let me know. It feels like the girls, when the bats aren't going and it's not hot, like they get antsy and they really try to get them going, and I feel like it doesn't help them. So Oklahoma, in one diamond sport in baseball, doing well, right? As I'm watching this, they actually got a lead on Oklahoma State. And then in softball, you drop a series in conference for the first time in like 54 series or some odd like number like that, just some stupid number. And it's the first time since 2009 that Texas has beat you in a series. So this has been something that Texas fans, Texas players, and Mike White, now Mike White has not been there the entire time, but in the time that he's been at Texas, have all been waiting for. They've all been waiting for their chance to get up on Oklahoma, and this was kind of the perfect weekend to do it. You catch a year in where Oklahoma, like when you look at last year to this year, Oklahoma appears to be more dominant in terms of the scores and things like that. But there are moments like this where we saw earlier in the season when they caught their first loss that it just, when it's not going, it doesn't seem like it's easy for them to get it going again. And maybe that's something they can clean up throughout the rest of conference play. But realistically, I think we're looking at a team that's probably, I mean, if they go into Oklahoma State, might lose one more game. Like if the bats aren't going like they were again. Now, you were in Austin, and as we pointed out in the Discord and on Twitter, I know a lot of other people pointed out too, the damn horn was annoying. And I know the umps didn't have the jurisdiction to make it go away and to stop it. But, and I know the university wasn't going to do about anything either. But that's, I mean, extremely distracting for the pitchers and the coaches and everybody involved for the Oklahoma Sooners. And so I hope no other teams decide they want to try antics like that. But if you're Oklahoma, you get a chance to come home, get it right against Wichita State. I believe your next series up is against BYU. Jada Coleman and Tiare Jennings and Alyssa Brito, like maybe they can get it going a little bit more, right? But if you're Oklahoma, your last time out against Kansas, it was a pretty dominant series sweep. I don't think a lot of Oklahoma fans expected to come in and get a 1-2 series loss. I don't think that was the expectations at all. I think a lot of people are saying, hey, like if you get a series win, but it's 2-1, that's expected. 3-0, obviously that's just the perfect outcome. 1-2, that's not it. I mean, but the thing is, Texas played a perfect ball game. They played a damn good series, and Oklahoma did not play perfect. And so you got to tip your hat to the Texas Longhorns, and you got to tip your hat to Mike White, even though Oklahoma fans might not want to do that. And you got to look ahead, right? You got BYU, you got Oklahoma State. If you're Oklahoma, at the end of the day, you're probably still going to get to the World Series. You're probably going to win your regional and your super regional. I don't see a world where that doesn't happen for Oklahoma. But again, I mean, we've seen moments like this where it can be a problem. So I'm not saying that that problem can't decide to rear its ugly head at Oklahoma again. But if you're an Oklahoma fan, it sucks to lose to Texas, but all good things come to an end, right? Like we talked about it earlier this year, the streak coming to an end. Then you've got this series win streak coming to an end. Your winning streak over Texas is coming to an end. Like that, all good things must come to an end at some point. And, you know, maybe this team, they look at these couple of losses, they find where there's areas of improvement, and maybe you see over the next couple of weeks they improve, because I think we're 5 weeks away from selection week. So they have an opportunity to improve. You found holes in your team. So I look at it and say Oklahoma's got an opportunity to still win a World Series, and they've got an opportunity to fix problems before you get there. You're not going to get into the World Series and find out these problems. Then you get to find them out now, and you get to try to fix them before you head there. So shorter video today. We'll have somebody on this week to break down the week's worth of games. I don't know if it's going to be before the Wichita State or after, but we'll bring somebody on. We'll probably talk a little bit more about Texas, and we'll talk about the upcoming series against BYU. But I want to hear from y'all, so make sure to join the discussion, jumping down in the comments below. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like, hit the subscribe button. Sorry if you guys see the camera going in and out of focus. We're still trying to figure it out a little bit. Got a new camera going on, so bear with me as I try to figure out the settings. But until next time.